I'm going to tell you something that might be difficult to hear. But you need to listen. If a woman is never afraid to lose you, she will never truly respect you. Let that sink in for a moment. Men, understanding this isn't optional. It is an absolute necessity if you want to be in control of your relationships, instead of letting them control you. If you don't know how to trigger our natural, primal fear of losing a high-value man, you will always be the one chasing, always the one overinvesting your time and energy, and always the one left wondering why she suddenly pulled away. The moment we feel like you're guaranteed, a sure thing, our attraction starts to die. It's not a conscious choice. It's a switch that flips inside of us. We may still keep you around, but it's no longer out of deep, burning desire. It's out of convenience. And you were not born to be any woman's convenience. What I'm about to teach you isn't about playing childish games or trying to make a woman jealous. This is far deeper than that. This is about you learning how to position yourself as a man she instinctively knows she cannot replace. A man whose presence in her life is a privilege, not a given. You see, we are naturally drawn to scarcity and competition. If you are too available, too predictable, and far too eager to please, we stop seeing you as valuable. We stop trying to impress you. We stop respecting you. But the moment we realize, the moment we feel in our bones, that you could walk away, that you have options, that you are a man other women want, everything changes. This video is going to show you exactly how to flip that switch. Because when a woman truly fears losing you, she acts right. She respects you. She desires you more. And most importantly, she finally sees you as the high-value, irreplaceable man you were always meant to be. Let's get into it. All right, let's break down exactly how you build that unshakable presence. This isn't about memorizing lines. It's about adopting a new mindset. There are 7 core principles you need to understand. Let's begin with the first and most fundamental one. 1. Create distance to increase desire. Men, I need you to listen to me very carefully. We do not desire what we feel we already own completely. The moment a woman feels she has 100% unrestricted access to your time, your attention, and your emotional world, you cease to be a prize in her eyes. You become a possession, and possessions are comfortable, but they are never exciting. Attraction is not built on comfort. It thrives on space, on tension, and on the subtle, thrilling feeling of not having complete control over you. Think about it from our perspective. Why do we obsess over the men who seem just a little out of reach? Because that uncertainty, that space is what keeps us mentally engaged. It gives us room to think about you, to wonder about you, and frankly, to idealize you. When you're not there, our imagination fills in the gaps, often in your favor. But the second you are always around, always texting, always available, always desperate to please, you take away that space. You smother the very spark you're trying to build. You stop being a priority in her mind and you become an option, a background character in her life. Most men get this completely backward. They meet a woman they like and their immediate instinct is to close the distance as fast as possible. They think that by constantly showing up, constantly texting good morning, and constantly reminding her how much they care, she'll value them more. But in reality, the opposite happens. Your constant presence becomes predictable. Your attention becomes cheap. The more she sees that you're always there, the less she feels the need to put in any effort. She knows she has you, so she stops trying. It's not because she's a bad person. It's because you've removed all the challenge. You've handed her the victory on a silver platter, and the game is no longer fun. So, how do you correctly create that powerful distance? This is crucial. This is not about playing games. You don't ignore her for 3 days to punish her. That's childish and manipulative. Instead, you simply pull back just enough to make her feel your absence. You need to show her, in small doses, what her life feels like when you are not the center of it. Maybe you're in the middle of a great text exchange, and instead of keeping it going for hours, you send a final message like, "Hey, great talking, but I've got to focus on this project. Talk later." And then you genuinely go and focus on your project. Maybe you stop being the one who initiates plans for the weekend every single time. You live your life, you make your own plans, and you let her be the one to reach out and say, "Hey, I miss you, when am I going to see you again?" This shift in dynamic is powerful. It forces her to recognize your value not by your presence, but by the void your absence creates. Suddenly, her mind starts to race. Why isn't he texting me as much? Is he losing interest? Was it something I said? That tiny seed of uncertainty, that is the fertilizer for attraction. Let me paint a clear picture. A guy meets a woman. The first few dates are amazing. But instead of pacing himself, he unleashes a flood of attention. He texts her the moment he wakes up. He checks in during her lunch break. He's always asking when they can meet next. At first she loves it, it's flattering. But soon she starts to feel smothered, claustrophobic. His presence becomes predictable like the sunrise. It's nice, but it's not exciting. So she starts to pull away. She takes longer to respond. She's suddenly busy. Why? Because there was no mystery, no tension. Now, imagine if he had given her just enough space to miss him. If he had let a day go by, where she was the one wondering what he was up to. She would have leaned in. She would have started to chase. That is the power of distance. It makes us crave what we feel we might be losing. And that craving is what keeps attraction alive. 2. Control your availability. This builds directly on the last point, but it's more about your time than your communication. Men, the more accessible you are, the less valuable you seem. This is a harsh economic and social truth. Scarcity creates value. If gold was as common as gravel, it would be worthless. Your time, your attention, and your energy are your most valuable assets. And if you give them away for free to anyone who asks, especially a woman you've just met, you are telling her that they are not worth much. When she knows she can have your time whenever she wants it, she will not feel the need to work for it. And if she doesn't have to work for it, she will not appreciate it. Most men fall headfirst into this trap. They respond to the "wanna hang out" text in 5 seconds flat. They will clear their entire Saturday schedule on the off chance she might want to do something. They drop what they're doing, their workout, their work, their time with friends, just to accommodate her. And here's the secret from our side: at first, we might enjoy it, it's convenient, it's an ego boost. But the problem is, it immediately destroys our perception of you as a challenge. Women are biologically and psychologically drawn to men who are purpose-driven. A man on his mission. A man whose life is already full and exciting. We want to be a part of that exciting life, not the entirety of it. When you make us the center of your world from day one, it signals that you don't have a world of your own. And trust me, that is not attractive. It's a burden. No woman wants to be responsible for being a man's sole source of happiness and purpose. Once she feels she's already won you over completely, the excitement of the chase is over. The game is done. So what should you do instead? You control your availability. Again, this is not about playing games. This is about having genuine self-respect. It means prioritizing your own life first. You have a workout scheduled. You don't cancel it because she's suddenly free. You say, "Awesome, I'd love to see you. I'm busy until 8. But I can meet you after that." You don't always have to be the one to initiate plans for Friday night. Live your life so that you have options. Make plans with your friends. Work on your projects. Let her be the one to compete for a slot in your schedule. When you do this, something amazing happens. She starts to value your time more because she recognizes it's a finite resource. She starts to wonder why you're not constantly chasing her. And she starts thinking about you more because she's not always sure when she'll hear from you next. Remember this: we crave men who have options, who are busy building an empire, and who aren't constantly at our beck and call. Stop being so available. Make your presence something she has to earn. 3. Let her feel uncertain about you. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. Certainty is the death of excitement. The moment a woman knows with 100% confidence exactly where she stands with you, exactly how you feel, and exactly what you're going to do next, the game changes. The emotional spark that defines attraction begins to fade. We are emotional creatures. We are driven by feelings, not just logic. And when a relationship feels too safe, too predictable, too certain, it starts to feel boring. Think back to the beginning of any relationship. That early phase when she wasn't quite sure how much you liked her. What was she doing? She was obsessed. She was analyzing your texts with her friends. She was replaying your conversations in her head. She was trying to figure you out. Why? Because that uncertainty made you a fascinating puzzle. You occupied her mind. But the moment she became completely sure that she had you wrapped around her finger, things shifted. She stopped trying so hard. She stopped thinking about you constantly. The puzzle was solved. This is why you cannot make the mistake of giving her endless, unconditional reassurance, especially early on. A little mystery, a little doubt. That's what keeps her on the edge of her seat. And that is exactly where you want her to be. Most men think the key to making a woman feel secure is to constantly prove their love. They check in all the time. They shower her with compliments. They remind her that they'll never leave. This approach backfires. When a woman feels completely certain that you're never going anywhere, no matter what, she loses the fear of losing you. And without that fear, there is no emotional intensity. There is no urgency. Let's be very clear. This is not about being a manipulative jerk. It's not about cheating or intentionally hurting her. It's about maintaining the natural, delicate balance of attraction. Think about why women get obsessed with dramatic TV shows. It's the will they, won't they energy. It's the emotional roller coaster. It's the suspense. We love suspense. It keeps us hooked. Your relationship should have a little of that suspense. If everything about you is predictable, where's the excitement? She won't obsess over you because there's no mystery left to solve. So, what should you do? Stop over-explaining your feelings all the time. Let your actions show your interest. But don't feel the need to write a novel in a text message about how much you miss her. Stop making everything so easy for her to figure out. Let her feel a little bit of that healthy uncertainty. It keeps things interesting. It keeps her emotionally engaged. And most importantly, it keeps her chasing. 4. Show that you have options. This is a concept called pre-selection, and it is one of the most powerful forces in female psychology. We are naturally, primarily drawn to men who are in demand. It's not just about attraction, it's about perceived value. Humans desire what other humans want. It's a social shortcut. When a woman sees that other women admire you, respect you, and enjoy your company, she doesn't just see you as attractive. She sees you as a safe bet. Someone whose value has already been verified by others. On the flip side, if she senses that no one else is interested in you, that you have no social life, no female friends, no one competing for your attention, she will subconsciously question your value. She won't feel that urgency to secure her place in your life. This is why high-status men, successful businessmen, athletes, social leaders, never struggle with women. Their desirability is already proven. Women assume their value based on the attention they already receive. This automatically creates a competitive mindset in us. It makes us feel like we need to win that man over. Now, you might not be famous, but the same principle applies on a smaller scale. If a woman sees you as a man who is socially valuable, confident, respected by your peers, able to hold a conversation, maybe even casually friendly with other women, she will instinctively work harder to keep your attention. But if she feels like she's your only option, her effort will drop to zero. That's when you notice her responding less, canceling plans, or just showing less enthusiasm. The moment she feels she has no competition, she stops valuing you in the same way. Many men make the critical mistake of cutting off all their social ties the moment they start liking one woman. They stop talking to other women. They become too available. They make her the center of their entire universe. This backfires every single time. We don't want a man who is desperate for our attention. We want a man who is desirable enough that we feel a little bit lucky to have his attention. So, how do you create this effect without being a player? You simply live a full, social, and valuable life. You don't have to brag about other women. That's insecure. Instead, you focus on building a strong social circle. You maintain your friendships. You go out. You have hobbies. You engage confidently with everyone, men and women alike. When a woman you're dating sees that you're respected, that you have friends, that you're valued by others, she will instinctively see you as more valuable. The moment a woman realizes she's not the only one who sees your value, that's when the fear of losing you kicks in. She will start putting in more effort, because the thought of another woman taking her place becomes unbearable. 5. Be mysterious, not predictable. One of the fastest ways to kill attraction is to become completely predictable. When a woman knows exactly what you're going to say, what you're going to do, and how you're going to react in every situation, she loses that sense of excitement. And once that mystery is gone, so is the fear of losing you. We are drawn to men who keep us guessing, not in a manipulative, head game sort of way, but in a way that makes the relationship feel fresh, dynamic, and alive. When she's a little uncertain about what you might do next, her mind stays engaged. She starts thinking about you more, wondering what you're up to, feeling like she has to put in effort to keep your attention. But when a man becomes predictable, when he sends the same "Good morning, beautiful" text every day at 8 a.m., when he plans the same dinner and a movie date every Friday, when he always makes himself available the second she calls, she starts to take him for granted. The thrill is gone. Now, this does not mean you should act distant just to confuse her. That's not mystery, that's immaturity. The right way to create mystery is to maintain your sense of individuality. You must keep parts of your life separate from her. Let her wonder what you're thinking sometimes. Give her moments where she feels she needs to work a little harder to understand you. For example, instead of always being an open book and sharing every single thought and feeling, let her ask you questions. Let her be genuinely curious about your inner world. A woman should never feel like she has fully figured you out. There should always be new layers to you that she wants to uncover. When she feels like there's more to learn, more to experience, and more to chase, she naturally invests more effort. And the more effort she puts in, the more she fears losing what she's worked so hard for. 6. Stop over-explaining yourself. There is a habit that instantly signals weakness to a woman: over-explaining. Many men feel this constant need to justify their actions, defend their choices, and make sure a woman completely understands them at all times. This is a massive mistake. The more you explain yourself, the weaker you look. And the weaker you look, the less she fears losing you. Let's be real about why men do this. You do it because you're afraid. Afraid of conflict. Afraid of her getting mad. Afraid of her pulling away. So you go out of your way to explain everything, even when it's unnecessary. You apologize when you've done nothing wrong. Here's the truth. We do not respect a man who is constantly justifying his own existence. We respect a man who stands by his words and his actions. A confident man doesn't need to explain. He lets his actions speak. If you say you're busy, you don't need to send her a 5-paragraph essay detailing your entire schedule. Busy is a complete sentence. If she questions why you didn't text back for 2 hours, you don't owe her a detailed timeline of your day. A simple, "I was tied up with work," is enough. Some of you are doing this because you are scared. You are a man, not a little boy seeking mommy's approval. If you constantly explain yourself, you are indirectly asking for her permission. You are seeking her validation instead of standing firm in your own. Think about the kind of men women chase in movies and in life. Do they over-explain themselves? Never. They are clear, direct, and unapologetic. And because of that, women respect them. Stop giving away your power with endless explanations. Let her wonder a little. That uncertainty is what keeps the fear of losing you alive. 7. Make her invest more than you do. This is the final and perhaps most critical rule. There is one undeniable truth in the dynamics of relationships. The person who invests the least holds the most power. Too many men make the fatal mistake of over-investing. You give too much, do too much, and try too hard, while the woman sits back and reaps the benefits. A woman values what she has to work for. If she's the one chasing, making plans, and trying to impress you, she will be far more invested in keeping you around. The more she invests her time, her energy, and her emotions into you, the more she will fear losing that investment. It's human nature. This doesn't mean you treat her badly. It means you should, at most, match her level of investment, and ideally, you should be investing slightly less than her, especially in the beginning. The problem is, most men do the exact opposite. They meet a woman and immediately start pouring 100% of their energy into her. And what happens? She loses respect. She knows she doesn't have to work for you, so she doesn't value you. If a woman isn't making an effort, you pull back. You let her notice your absence. You let her wonder why you're not chasing her like every other guy. If she's truly interested, she will step up. If she doesn't, she was never that invested to begin with, and you just saved yourself a lot of time. High-value men do not overinvest. They let a woman earn her place in their life. At the end of the day, a woman will only fear losing you if she truly sees you as a man of value. That doesn't come from playing games, acting cold, or pretending to be someone you're not. It comes from knowing your own worth and living a life that reflects it. When you stop making yourself so available, when you focus on your mission instead of constantly trying to please her, you naturally create that healthy fear of loss. Not because you're manipulating her, but because she understands, on a deep level, that you are a man who will not tolerate being taken for granted. And that is what makes her want to keep you. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, honestly, are you the man she respects and values? Or are you the man she knows will always be there no matter what? The difference between those two is everything. Now, let's have a real conversation about this. I want to hear from you. Have you ever pulled back and noticed a complete shift in how a woman treated you? Or have you made the mistake of over-investing and paid the price? Drop your thoughts and your stories in the comments below. I'll be checking in and responding. And if you're serious about taking a deeper dive into these concepts, I've created a community for men who are ready to master their masculinity in today's world. You can find the link to my Podia community in the description. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So, at the end of the day, I need you to understand this. A woman's fear of losing you should never come from you playing games, acting cold, or pretending to be someone you're not. That is the weak man's path. It must come from you genuinely knowing your worth and building a life that reflects it. It must come from you embodying a true, stoic presence. When you stop making yourself constantly available, when you focus on your own mission instead of making her your mission, you naturally create that fear of loss. Not because you're manipulating her, but because she understands, on a primal level, that you are a man of substance who will not tolerate being taken for granted. And that is what makes her want to earn her place in your life. That is what makes her want to keep you. So I'll leave you with this question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you building your life like a solid pillar that she feels lucky to stand next to? Or are you acting like a vine, needing her to hold you up? The difference between the two is everything. Now, let's have a real conversation about this. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me one thing you are going to stop doing after watching this video. Are you going to stop over-explaining? Are you going to take back control of your time? Make that commitment to yourself and the community right now. And finally, if this is the kind of direct, no nonsense guidance that you need to hear, if you are ready to stop guessing and start building that unshakable, stoic core that commands respect, then do the one thing that matters. Hit that subscribe button and join us here at Stoic Manhood Guide. Remember, you don't create her fear of losing you. You create a man worth being afraid to lose. Stay strong.